There once was a servant who decided to steal a golden vase while working at the king's palace. He took the vase home and covered it with black paint so that no one would know its worth, and then he put it in his closet. In this time, the servant retired, and the servant immigrated to another country. When he died, the vase was placed in a box with all his other belongings and was put into an auction to pay his debts, as there was no other family member to inherit his belongings. There was a man who saw the vase in its box, and as he found the shape of the vase was interesting, hence he bid for the lot, buying it for pennies of the price it really was worth. He took it home and placed it on the top of a shelf of the glass wall unit with the other vases that he collected. One day the man who bought the vase from the auction house asked his friend to come and play a game of cards. His friend said yes, but only if he could bring his brother that came from another town who was visiting with him. The man accepted the condition of his friend, and his brother, who was the curator of a museum, came to play. The wine came out, they played a few hours, and while taking a break, the curator noticed the interesting shape of the vase and inquired of his host where he had acquired the vase. The host explained it was from an auction house. Near the end of the evening, the owner became drunk and started losing heavily to the curator. Knowing the curator showed an interest in the vase, he offered the vase to settle his debts. The curator agreed, and both of them signed a paper to confirm the agreement. The same evening, the curator took the vase and inspected it carefully. To his surprise, he saw what he perceived to be a gold inside the vase. What's more, the markings on the underside of the vase portrayed something that he had seen in a book about a vase stolen from the king's palace. His heart started to pound, and with all his knowledge he made the effort to restore the vase to its former beauty. Alas, his efforts were not in vain. After having verified with the auction house where they had acquired the vase, he knew he had found what he had been searching for all his life and why he had studied to become a curator in the first place. At this point, he called the press and made an announcement that he had found the missing vase. He returned it to its original owner, the king, and he received an incredible reward. The next morning, the former owner who had bought the vase from the auction house opened the newspaper only to find that the vase which he had gambled away was now sitting back at the king's palace and was estimated at $1 million. He thought to himself, if I had only known what the vase was worth, I would have treated it with more respect. You might ask yourself what a stolen vase has to do with the violence and aggression against women. We, as Canadian women, by law and by the Charter of Human Rights, are like the vase in the King's Palace, deemed equal and at the same shining out for all the other women of all nations to see. But there are those in this country who have no respect for the law, which deems women as equals, even though they know the law, and they choose to diminish us in equality and in value by covering us with their own values and thus not allowing women to shine as full-fledged Canadians. They do this by verbal, physical, and mental abuse. There are those who are, in fact, uneducated in how to respect women as being equals because they have not witnessed any better, just like the host who owned the vase, and because the servant had not covered it over, treated it with the same ill regard. In consequence, when he became educated of its worth, it opened his eyes of what he had done wrong. Lastly, just like the vase reinstated in the King's Palace, Canada needs to be, as it is in so many other areas, a country that puts in place programs for women who have been abused, which effectively takes off the layers of paint and dirt and transforms them into their former beauty.